Grand jury will hear testimony on Monday as part of an ongoing investigation into Tiffany Henyard's leadership in the South Suburbs.
FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been following allegations of her misspending and joins us now with an update. Dane.
Yeah, we've been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor.
FBI also demanding records from the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation after we reported at least $10,000 in taxpayer money went to her.
The current scandal involving Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is by now well known to the majority of us. The FBI has now opened an investigation into the misbehavior charges against her, and recent revelations have surprised both the Dalton and Dixon trustees. The evidence against her is mounting, and it's unsettling. Let's go over the first significant development. Happened when FBI agents were observed interviewing specific people in Dalton. Although they would not comment on the specifics of their investigation, it is reasonable to assume that it has something to do with the many accusations made against Henyard. Over the years, there have been reports that the so-called super mayor has been abusing her political position for personal benefit, and things have only gotten worse from there.
Agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges. Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about?
Yes, very serious.
Concerns?
Very, very serious. Very.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official.
Numerous Dalton business owners have come out to disclose that they were refused business licenses for no other reason than that they would not support the Henyard election campaign. Imagine being able to manage a company that is dependent on political contributions. A concerning picture of the corruption that has existed since Henyard came to power is painted by these accusations.
Has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dalton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's providing catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign.
It should come as no surprise that the majority of Dalton citizens welcome the FBI's presence because public service is designed to serve the people, not to profit oneself at their expense. Participation on their part for this mess to be cleaned up and for their tax dollars to finally be used transparently. The probe is essential.
Trustee Jason House reacted to the news of the FBI's involvement. We welcome any investigation that will bring transparency on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. Our residents deserve this level of financial transparency. We reached out to the FBI, which said it is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement agent.
Since it was revealed that the FBI had asked Dalton for records, the public's anger towards Tiffany has only increased. This is understandable since it is official confirmation. The walls are closing in, and this isn't the first time Henyard has been the target of scrutiny. The FBI is actively gathering information to build a case against her.
Copy of the latest court order. It asked for a variety of financial reports like budgets, accounting records, and receipts from Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Administrator Keith Freeman, and Trustee Andrew Holmes, as well as several other companies and individuals. Plus, any records related to Henyard's charitable organizations. The subpoena also requests all travel records paid for by the municipality, including a trip taken to Las Vegas in May of last year. On that trip, both the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. They both filed a civil lawsuit accusing Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. Regarding the lawsuit, the mayor and Holmes both declined to comment. The first two grand jury subpoenas were served April 10th, asking for personnel and disciplinary files for nearly 30 people. The subpoenas also asked for documents related to Keith Freeman, the village administrator recently indicted on charges of bankruptcy fraud. His attorney told us he has no plans to step days ago, the law firm representing the village in at least 19 lawsuits in Cook County and federal court said it's planning to withdraw from the cases May 8th due to lack of payment. NBC5 has obtained a copy of the letter sent to the village by the Delgado law firm of Berwyn.
As if the management of Grumess wasn't enough, Henyard recently opposed a proposal to look into her own behavior. Yes, you read correctly. She had the opportunity to permit an open examination of her behavior, but decided to prevent it. This choice just serves to highlight the things she is attempting to conceal.
Controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard is resisting calls to look into her spending. At a village board meeting Monday night, the Dalton mayor vetoed a resolution passed by the board to investigate her spending. Last month, the board passed a resolution that required Henyard to turn in the village's financial records and called for an investigation by the FBI. Now, several Fox 32 reports have uncovered multiple allegations of corruption in her capacity as mayor and as Thornton Township supervisor. The mayor took issue with what she called attacks on her.
As you can see, our village, our community, myself, we are under attack. It's a shame that people can come to meetings and just tell one-sided stories and not get the entire side of both stories.
The Daily Southtown reports the trustees can vote to override the mayor's veto next month, and we have confirmed the FBI is questioning people as part of an ongoing investigation into.
FBI agents were spotted near Dalton Village Hall.
Near Dalton Village Hall, FBI officers were observed carrying out an inquiry as they've been quiet about the details. So it's easy to assume that it has something to do with Tiffany.
About what we know, and that is that a handful of FBI agents showed up to this area earlier today. What is not clear is exactly why. Now, here's another statement in part that we got from the FBI saying that the FBI was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in that area today. Department of Justice policy prevents the FBI from commenting on the nature of any investigation that may be occurring. Now, we know Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been the focus of NBC5 investigations for weeks, and that several high-level officials do face law.
For many trustees, the FBI's presence in Dalton is a sigh of relief, giving them the sense that their call for help has finally been heard.
Trustees that we spoke to, one in particular who we just spoke to, tells me this is a relief.
I'm feeling a sigh of relief. For the last 3 years, myself, the board members, and the residents have been feeling like no one was coming to save us in regards to providing us with the information that we need to make decisions regarding our finances with the village. So today I feel as if we're maybe one step closer to having some of the answers.
The FBI's presence in Dalton is a relief to many trustees, as it gives them the impression that, at last, their plea for assistance has been heard.
Trustees that we spoke to, one in particular who we just spoke to, tells me this is a relief.
I'm feeling a sigh of relief. For the last 3 years, myself, the board members, and the residents have been feeling like no one was coming to save us in regards to providing us with the information that we need to make decisions regarding our finances with the village. So today I feel as if we're maybe one step closer to having some of the answers.
Tiffany is not the only one the FBI is looking into. Additionally, her former right-hand man, Keith Freeman, has been charged with different accusations with Freeman's indictment. The network of influence surrounding Henyard and her administration is called into even greater question.
Some new developments on a suburban government that's mired in accusations of scandal. The mayor of Dalton is already under investigation, and there are allegations of misconduct surrounding an official trip to Las Vegas. Well, now a top administrator is facing fraud charges. Regina Waldrop explains.
Trustee Andrew Holmes?
No. Several high-level officials in South Suburban Dalton facing a rush of lawsuits and investigations. Federal prosecutors accuse Keith Freeman of making false statements in his bankruptcy petition. Freeman currently serves as village administrator and as municipality manager of Thornton Township.
There has been several times that we have gone back and forth and we have talked about being able to get past all of this.
The indictment alleges that Freeman made several false statements and omissions in the bankruptcy petition filed in January. It says he knowingly underreported income he derived from his employment, as well as fees he received from his private consulting business. Freeman has not been arraigned, and the village declined to comment. This latest legal issue comes days after a civil lawsuit was filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and trustee Andrew Holmes, who is a well-known community activist. It was filed by the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. The lawsuit accuses Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. The incidents allegedly occurred during and after an economic development trip to Las Vegas last.
At a recent Thornton Township meeting, a citizen accused Henyard of corruption, causing her to become more defensive as temperatures rise. Henyard tried to remove the person from the meeting rather than address the issues, which only increased the levels of indignation among the participants.
Who faces multiple
To the village's firefighters, Tiffany stole funds from the firefighters' retirement fund. One firefighter went so far as to say that many of them had been too scared to speak up for fear of reprisals. There is good reason to be concerned about someone as conceited as Tiffany. Her actions constitute an unforgivable breach of trust that affects the very people who put their lives in danger to keep the community safe. Despite her actions, the firefighters continue to perform their duties and keep the residents of Dalton safe. Concerned by the serious accusations against her during the FBI investigation, she was spotted throwing a party and celebrating with supporters as though nothing had happened. The trustees declined to provide funding for the event because it was named after her, but that didn't stop her. She stated that the money came from her own pocket, but it's unknown where the money came from. Her actions have left many wondering how someone who is under such close surveillance could so blatantly ignore how serious the situation is. One more contentious action at a food distribution event. Henyard was accused of utilizing taxpayer-funded resources for political self-promotion by using her campaign branding to cover the foods being distributed, thus transforming a charity function into a political rally. Later, in a Facebook video, Henyard asserted that God had sent her as mayor in an attempt to dispel the growing allegations. Her statements haven't had much of an impact on public opinion because, to many, her claims of divine intervention seem like a last-ditch effort to divert attention from the very real accusations she is facing as the FBI looks into them further. The evidence against Henyard keeps growing, ranging from her attempts to silence dissent at public meetings to her coercing business owners into contributing to her campaign to the possible misuse of retirement funds. Meetings, it's evident that this investigation is far from finished, and with the FBI fully involved, it appears that the truth will eventually be revealed. The Dalton community and those watching from across the nation are waiting for justice and answers. So far, don't forget to leave a comment below for more updates. Click the bell icon. Until we meet again, thanks for watching Visual Vortex.